present here. Today we have come to the third day of the first session. Today we will talk about RERA, case laws and judgment, with specific regard to projects, promoters and agents, RERA landmark and judgments, filing complaints and appeals. So we invite Mr. Mahadev Birla, CA. I'll just say a few words about him so that members can be aware of his profession. He's a qualified in bachelor's degree in commerce. He is the associate member of ICAI work. He has got 11 years of experience in the field of financial management, taxation management, internal audits, project audits, secretarial audits, company secretarial work, and management accounting work, etc., in real estate, construction, and EPC services, etc. He's been the provided advisory services on various RERA matters, especially in the state of Gujarat, MP, UP, Haryana, and also Maharashtra and in city of Bangalore. He has appeared before regulatory authorities in Gujarat, appellate tribunal matter also related to RERA in Gujarat. He's member of website and newsletter committee of ICAI Ahmedabad, and he's been nominated as core member of RERA study work of WIRC of ICAI and several others, and he has also co-authored a book called E-Filing Guide on Form 3, Form 5 under RERA, published by ICAI Ahmedabad. He has written several articles, 22 articles on RERA-related subjects. The last being on COVID-19 impact extension. He has done state-wise analysis on extension of project registration by RERA authorities. Quite a lot to talk about you, sir, and we welcome you. I hope today is going to be a very useful session based on this topic that you're going to talk about. Over to you, sir, Mr. Birla.
And good evening, friends, and thanks CREDAI team members, and thanks Virag Bhai also for giving me this opportunity to address real estate experts, I can say, because CREDAI is there when I think all real estate experts are there, and Virag Bhai is also there. He is also aware much about the real estate. So thanks again. And I think in the first session, Ramesh Prabhu sir must have explained about the RERA, and today I am going to throw some lights on the litigation part, and we'll explain how to file the complaints and how to file the appeal. And apart from that, filing an appeal, I will discuss some landmark judgment also. So before going to the procedural part, like how to file a complaint and how to file an appeal, before that, I will explain some important aspects under the RERA. My screen is visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, Birla ji.
So, वो हिंदी में अपने बोलते हैं ना कि झगड़े की जड़ क्या है. तो अभी लिटिगेशन तो झगड़ा हो गया है. अब ये झगड़े की जड़ क्या है, पहले उसको थोड़ा समझेंगे इसमें. Then after we'll go to the main part, how this litigations comes and how we can file a complaint, against whom complaint can be filed. So I will not take much more time onto this part, but I will, in short, I will explain some important provisions under the RERA. So the first things, everybody is aware why the RERA has come and when it has come. But if any things which I am going to explain is already explained by the Ramesh Prabhu sir, let me know. I will skip that. So will not consume that, will not spend the time into that, and I will jump to the another part. So the important thing is that filing, generally complaint is filed by the allotee or promoter or the real estate agent. So it is very important to understand the definition of the allotee, that who is the allotee. So section 2D of the RERA talk about the definition of the allotee. Allotee in relation to a real estate project means the person to whom a plot, apartment or building, as the case may be, has been allotted, sold or otherwise transferred by the promoter, and includes the person who subsequently acquired the said allotment through sale, transfer or otherwise, but does not include a person to whom such plot, apartment, building, as the case may be, given on rent. So when we analyze this definition of this allotee, there are two type of allotee comes. First allotee comes the first buyer who is directly buying the property from the promoter, or we can say real estate developer. Second, the person who buys the property from the first buyer. So example, A has taken a property in the project XYZ. Suppose he sells the property to Y, that Y will also fall under the definition of the allotee. So there are two buyers, first buyer and second buyer. Further, when the property is transferred other than by way of the sale, that sale or that part, the person who is buying or who is taking the property will also fall under the definition of the allotee. Further, whether lease transaction, or we can say lessee, is also covered under the definition of the allotee or not. So yes, lessee is also covered under the definition of the allotee, and that was held by in very landmark judgment of the Bombay High Court in the case of Lavasa Corporation versus Jitendra Jagdish Tulsian, that the lessee will also fall under the definition of the allotee. The person who is taking the property on the rent will not fall under the definition of the allotee. So this is the simple definition of the allotee. Two type of buyer, lessee cover under the definition of the allotee, and otherwise transferred when property is transferred will also fall under the definition of the allotee. Apartment. So in short, I will explain. The apartments include flat, office, showroom, godown. Means it's cover everything, whether it is a commercial property, whether it is a residential property, all fall under the definition of the apartment. Now, this is the important. ये बहुत बड़े झगड़े की जड़ है. Advertisement. Why advertisement is बहुत बड़े झगड़े की जड़ है? Because real estate promoters when makes the advertisement in Maharashtra, RERA, Maharashtra, you people must have seen that RERA authority has imposed a very huge penalty on the advertisement which is not as per the RERA provision, or the advertisement is done without the registration of the project. So advertisement definition has a very important role, in a different section. It starts with section 3, then after section 12, then after section 11 also it falls. So this advertisement definition has a very important role in a litigation. I can say like this. So advertisement is any document. You keep in your mind, this is any document described or issued as an advertisement through any medium and includes any notice, circular or other documents or publicity in any form informing person about a real estate project or offering for sale of a plot, building or apartment, or inviting person to purchase in any manner such plot, building or apartment, or to make advance or deposit for such purpose. So friends, the thing is that when the promoter is doing the advertisement in any way by any document, will fall under the definition of the advertisement. So whether he is informing the person through SMS also that XYZ project is going to be launched, XYZ project is coming soon, without having a registration, and so that RERA authority may impose the penalty. So by SMS also, by email also, by mouth publicity also, if information is given about the project, then that will fall under the definition of the advertisement. Because section 11 talks about some compliance is to be done when the advertisement is published for any real estate project. let's talk about that. You have to mention the website of the name or of the website of the Maharashtra RERA, Gujarat RERA particular, whatever. And apart from that, you have to mention the project registration number on the advertisement also. So this is the definition of the advertisement. Now we'll move to common area. Friends, this is also very important definition, because common area, generally there are a lot of communication is done or misunderstanding is done when we read this definition of the common area. And in Gujarat, we have seen lot of cases comes in respect of the common area, and the allottees file the complaint before the RERA authority that the possession of the common area is not given, and possession of the common area is not given while the possession of the individual flats or residential or commercial property is given to the allottees. Now the question comes, what is the common area? Generally, whenever the allottee files a complaint, they said that the play area nahi diya hai, gym, clubhouse, amenities in the project is not handed over, or it is not completed. So when it is required to be completed, that we can understand in a section 17 of the RERA. But what fall under the definition of the common area is very important to understand, because when we will understand the definition of the common area, we will come to know the duty of the promoter to hand over the common area to the association of allottee. So what I mean to say, that it is not necessary that when I am giving the possession of particular unit, I will hand over the possession of the common area to the association of the allottee at the same time, because the date of possession in case of the individual unit may be different from the date of possession of the common area, because the common area is to be handed over as per the section 17, while the possession of the unit is to be given as per the agreement to sale or as per the project completion date. So what is the common area? It's cover the entire land of the project. It covers the staircases, lift, staircases and lift lobbies, fire escapes, common entrance and exit of the building, common basement, terrace, park, play areas, open parking areas, and common storage spaces. The premises for the lodging of the person employed for the management of the property, including accommodation for watch and wardrobe staffs, or for the lodging of the community services personnel. Installation of central services, water tanks, sumps, motor, fans, compressor, ducts, and all apparatus connected with the installation of the common use, all community and commercial facility. So friends, these all fall under the definition of the common area. So lift is not completed, but the individual possession is given when lift is to be completed and given the handed over to as per section 17(1). Play area, garden, gym, club, any other facility that is required to be handed over as per the section 17(1) of the RERA. So it is not compulsory to be handed over at the time of possession of the individual units. So when the complaints is filed before the RERA authority to hand over the possession of the common area before the end of the projection of the completion of before the end of the completion of the project, then that complaint would not be maintainable before the RERA authority. So that is the important part. Now friends, this is again the definition of the real estate project. We all know that when we are developing a building, it's called real estate project. But as far as RERA is concerned, development of the real estate project is only not the criteria, or converting of an existing building or part into apartment is also not the criteria, or development of a land into plots or apartment is only the criteria, will not fall or will not considered as a real estate project. The important thing is that there should be a sale. The project should be available for the sale, whether single unit or whether all unit. So if promoter is not developing the project for sale, that project is not required to be registered. So we are talking about that when the project will fall under the definition of the real estate project, that project is required to be registered under the RERA. So this we are, we have to understand that if the project is available for sale, that real estate project will require registration under the RERA. Otherwise, that project is not required under the registration under the RERA. However, that project will be considered as a real estate project. So this is the very important things. So this is the definition of the real estate project. I will read quickly. As per section 2ZN, real estate project means the development of a building or a building consisting of an apartment or converting an existing building or part thereof into apartment, or development of land into plots or apartment, as the case may be, for the purpose of selling all or some of the said apartments or plots or building, as the case may be, and includes the common area, the development work, all improvements and structure thereof. So this is the definition of the real estate project. So important part is here sale. Sale is the important part. Now friends, again the important definition is the carpet area. Carpet area is mean net usable floor area of apartment. So what exactly I am going to use in a particular apartment or particular unit will be considered as a carpet area, and that include the internal partition wall also, but not external partition wall, and it will not include the this veranda and balcony also. So only the area which I am going to use internally, that will fall under the definition of the carpet area. In by this example, I can explain you if it is visible to everyone in a proper way. See, if you see here, the green boundary is there, that is the internal wall. So this is the commercial unit. I will explain by the residential unit. So this is the residential unit. See, so some bedrooms are there, dining halls is there, like balcony, veranda is there. So when we see all this part where this red line is there, cross red line, and along with the green boundary line is there, that is green is internal wall, that will cover under the that area of the internal wall will be used for the calculation of the carpet area. Now if you see in this purple color open terrace area, if you see in the blue color balcony, veranda, this will not fall under the this will not be used to calculate the area of the carpet area, and other part whatever there which I am going to use, that will be considered as a carpet area. So this example we can understand very well that how the carpet area will be considered. Promoter, I'm not going to explain in detail. Promoter generally the person who develops a project. Lot of litigations are there whether the landowner is also considered as a promoter or not. So according to my view, the landowner is also considered as a promoter, and different state authority has given their own rules or their own circular by which they have defined the responsibility of the landowner. So, but according to my view, the promoter, the person who is developing the project, apart from that, when there is a joint development agreement between the landowner and the developer, landowner is also considered as a promoter. He is also equally liable, because unless and until landowner sign the agreement to sale or sale deed, the ownership cannot be transferred to the allotee. So that's why the landowner is also considered as a, or according to my view, should be considered as a promoter. In case of the government authority, when they are developing a project, that authority will be considered as a developer. Real estate agent means any person who negotiate or act on behalf of one person in a transaction of transfer of his plot, apartment or building, as the case may be in a real estate project, by way of sale with another person, or transfer of plot, apartment or building, as the case may be, of any other person, or to him, and receive remuneration or fees or any other charges for his services, whether as a commission or otherwise, and includes a person who introduced through any medium prospective buyer and seller to each other for negotiation for sale or purchase of plot, apartment, building, as the case may be, and include property dealer, broker, middleman, by whatever name called. So agent is the person who is intermediary to facilitate the sale between the real estate developer and the allotee. Now friends, I will not go much about this. This section 3 talks about that unless and until the project is registered with the RERA authority, you cannot do any marketing, selling and booking. If the project is registered, you can go for the advertisement, you can take the money, you can do the booking in the project. Some precondition is there for registration of the project. That ongoing project on 1st May 2017, BU permission received, completion certificate received, not require registration, as project is required to the registration. Some exceptions are there when land area is less than equal to 500 square meter or number of the unit in a project is less than equal 8, that project is not required to be registered, as the project is required to be registered. So this is the section 3 talks about. I'm not going to touch this application. Another part of the litigation is that there was a problem before this RERA has come. So the promoter has to give some undertaking that there is a title of the land is clear, there is no encumbrances on the land, or there is no loan is taken, and if it is taken, the promoter will give the title free property to the purchaser, allotee, and the promoter will give the undertaking that the project will be completed on so and so time. So these declaration promoter generally gives, right? Apart from that, he gives the undertaking that money will be utilized for the construction of the project only. I am not going to touch upon this thing because this is not covered as a part of the litigation. So friends, now important thing is that how the litigation starts and what is the region of the litigations. Some compliances promoter has to do, some duties allotee has to comply, some condition he has to comply. So when neither promoter is complying, nor provision of the RERA, nor allotee is also complying with the terms and condition of the agreement to sale, then the litigation will arise. So what promoter has to comply? Some function and duties of the promoter are there as per the provision of the RERA. That promoter should comply this duty. He should follow all the procedure. He should comply with all the provisions of the RERA. So it starts from section 11. Some duties are assigned to the promoter. So the promoter has to comply with that duty. If he is not done, then obviously allotee can file a complaint. RERA authority can also take a suo motu action against the promoter or the real estate developer. So first, compliance start with the, after the registration, promoter will get a login ID and password. He has to create his website. On this website, he has to put all the information. Generally, if we see on the RERA website, we can see the details of the project. So that information he has to update. So this is the section 11. Section 211 talks about again that promoter has to update the quarterly information. Recently, I have seen in the Bangalore, Karnataka RERA has, I think, approximately more than 1,000 projects. They are going to take action because the promoter has not updated quarterly information of the real estate project. So that is completely non-violation of section 11.2. So, sorry, this is the section 11.1. So promoter has to comply this provision. So it is not necessary that litigation arises when the real estate agent or the allotee files the complaint. Litigation arises when the RERA authority also takes a suo motu action due to non-compliance of the provision. So every promoter has to comply section 11 for updating the quarterly information about the real estate project. And what is the information? How much unit he has sold, how much amount he has taken, how much garage is booked, whatever the approval he has taken, that approval information about the approvals, any pending approvals, status of the project. These are the information here a promoter has to update out to the RERA authority. Some different states have a different way or detailed information about the project. According to state wise, we have to update the information. This is a very important section. This I already discussed when we were discussing about this definition of the advertisement, that any advertisement or prospectus issued or published by the promoter must contain the information about the RERA registration number and website address of the RERA authority. So we have seen in many cases, and we must have read also, that the promoter did not mention the RERA website address or RERA registration number. Then the RERA authority has taken a suo motu action and they have penalized the promoter. Now, again, this information promoter has to give to the allotee at the time of booking or issuance of the allotment letter, that is the sanction plan, layout plan, specification, stage-wise time schedule of the project. Some other responsibilities of the promoter are there. In short, I will cover this, that he has to take a completion certificate. He has to take a lease certificate when the project is developed on the leasehold property. He has to provide all essential services on a reasonable charge till taking over of the maintenance by the association of the allotee. Promoter has to enable the formation of association or society or cooperative society of the allotee under the law applicable, right? Promoter has to execute a registered conveyance deed of apartment in favor of the allotee, right? Even other duty of the promoter is that he has to execute the conveyance deed of the undivided proportionate title in the common area to the association of allotee. Promoter's duty is to pay all outgoing until he transfers the physical possession of the project. So it includes the outstanding land payment, outstanding loan taken from the finance company, even some other charges also. If he has collected from the allotee, he has to pay that charges. So these are the duties of the promoter. Now this is again another duty where litigation arises when the promoter do not execute the agreement to sale. Then the allotee can file a complaint before the RERA authority. And what is the condition for this agreement to sale? Section 13 talks about that when you receive the money 10%, then you have to execute the agreement to sale. So it restricts that promoter cannot accept more than 10% of the flat price or any unit unless and until promoter execute the agreement to sale. And what should be the part of the agreement to sale? That details about the development of the building, specification of the building or project, internal development work, external development work, what would be the date of possession, and rate of interest in case promoter fails to give the possession on time, or in case the allotee fails to give the payment on time as per the project completion schedule or as per the terms and condition of the agreement to sale. So these are the terms and condition is required to be mentioned into agreement to sale. Another important part of this structure defect. Section 14.3 talks about the structure defect. That when there is a structure defect in any unit or in the project, the allotee has to inform to the real estate developer. And it is the duty of the real estate developer to rectify such defects within 30 days from the date of intimation given by the allotee, and such rectification is required to be done without any charges. So this is the duty of the promoter. Once, or we can say when the promoter fails to rectify the structure defect, allotee can file a complaint, or we can say application before the adjudicating officer to seek a compensation for the such structure defect. Here important part is that the structure defect compensation can be taken from the promoter till the 5 years of the date of the possession, or we can say from the day 5 years from the date of the possession. So today, suppose I say I have taken a particular flat in the month of November, and if I have noticed any structure defect into that unit from the November, 5 years from the November 2020, I can seek a compensation for the such structure defect. And in the said project, or in that particular project, if another customer takes the property in suppose December 2020, for that person, the 5 year will be counted from the December 2020. So a lot of, again here also misunderstanding is that, but according to my view here, it is clearly specifically mentioned that from the date of the possession. Many promoter or many allottees seek a compensation, or they seek that, okay, this should be date of, completion of the project. It can be date from the, agreement to sale, something like that. And again, as far as the promoter is concerned, always for a precautionary way, they should take an insurance. So, in case of a structure defect, at least they can avoid some, future losses. So many people, many professionals suggest, in case of a structure defect, promoter should always take an insurance, or they should make such type of agreement with the contractor that they should be liable. We have seen that defect liability period is always there in a civil contract. So when promoter is executing an agreement with the contractor, they should specifically mention that period. So at least promoter can avoid the losses in case anything happens in respect of the structural part of the unit or project. This section 18 I will discuss later on when we'll understand this case laws. And now this is the right of the allotee is also important to understand, because unless and until promoter know the things, he cannot avoid the litigation part. So it is the duty of the, it is the right of the allotee that he can obtain the information about the sanction plan, layout plan. So whenever any allotee comes to the for the booking, promoter should always give the information about the sanction plan, layout plan, or specification of the project. Further, he should give the stage-wise time schedule also. You must have seen in the section 11 also, it says that promoter has to provide the stage-wise schedule of the project. So allotee can ask and promoter should give. Promoter should give the possession as per the agreement to sale or as per the date declaring at the time of registration of the project. Otherwise, you must have seen in the Maharashtra, lot of cases are going on. Lot of decision is also taken when the promoter failed to give the possession as per the agreement to sale. Right of the allotee is he can seek a refund of the amount along with the interest. And other right is that entitled to have a necessary document and plans, and including that of common area after handing over the physical possession of that apartment, plot, or building as the case may be. Important thing is there, whenever any dispute is there, or we can say that allotee has a right that allotee and promoter can mutually reduce their share in expenses. So suppose today I say that promoter is liable to pay the 10% amount, 10% interest, but mutually they can reduce their share. Suppose allotee is required to pay the interest at the rate 10%. If you discuss with the promoter, they can mutually reduce, and it is always advisable to, when they are doing such type of mutual agreement, it should be in a writing to avoid the future litigation. So section 19.8 says that the allotee and promoter can mutually reduce the share in expenses and interest on a delay payment. And now, these were the rights of the allotee. Now, what is the duty of the allotee? See, in section 11, we have seen that the promoter को sale deed execute करना है. Section 13 बोलती है promoter को agreement to sell execute करना है. Section 11 बोलती है कि भाई promoter को association of allotee बनाना है. So क्या केवल promoter की ही duty है ये सब करने की, या allotee की भी duty है? So again, there are duties of the allotee that he has to take a participation in formation of the association of allotee. अगर association of allotee नहीं बनेगा, unless and until allotee आगे नहीं आएंगे, they will not sign the paper. How the association of allotee will be formed? So it is the duty of the allotee also to take participation in formation of the association of allotee. It is the duty of the allotee to make a payment on time as per agreement to sale. It is the duty of the allotee to pay the interest. It is the duty of the allotee that he should take a participation in execution of the agreement to sale, in execution of the sale deed. If allotee is not cooperating with the promoter, obviously promoter can also file a complaint to the RERA authority for such non-compliance by the allotee. Now friends, these were the all झगड़े की जड़. तो भाई किस किस कारण से झगड़ा हो सकता है? अभी झगड़ा शुरू हो गया है तो क्या करेंगे? तो झगड़ा किस किस बीच में हो सकता है और उसका क्या रास्ता है और वो कहां कंप्लेंट फाइल करेंगे? So who can file the complaint? Any aggrieved person. So that aggrieved person can be allotee, agent, or real estate developer also. And association of allotee, voluntary consumer association registered under any law. So these can file the complaint before the RERA authority. Now, there are two structure, or we can say that how the RERA authority is formed. So there is a members, member 1, member 2, and chairman. I will discuss that later on also. And there is a one adjudicating officer. So when there is a matter of compensation, as per section 12, as per section 14.3 that I explained structured effect. Section 12 I will explain in a judgment case law. Delay, failure to give a possession, I will explain later on, and refund and interest as per section 19. So when the allotee seek a compensation, I think recently there is a very landmark judgment of the Maharashtra RERA Appellate Tribunal, where it was held that adjudicating officer cannot decide, or he cannot give the order for the refund as per section 18. He can only give the order for, or he can only decide for the compensation part. So when any allotee seek compensation as per section 12, 14.3, 18 and 19, he can file an application before the adjudicating officer to seek a compensation. Now, the rest of the other things, suppose execution of the agreement to sell is not done, credit is not done, possession is not given on time, there is a construction quality defect, any other things, title is not clear, any other problems apart from section 12, 14, 18 and 19 compensation, allotee can file a complaint before the RERA authority, promoter can also file a complaint before the RERA authority, and agent also can file a complaint before the RERA authority, other than the section 12, 14, 18 and 19. Now, again, I have already explained who can file a complaint and against whom the complaint can be filed. Complaint can be filed either against the real estate developer, real estate broker, or allotee. Way of filing the complaint is online also can the file, offline. Because of COVID, I think most of the states are doing online complaint only, but offline complaint can also be filed. Different state authority has different mechanism to file a complaint. Now, this is the composition of the RERA authority. So there is a chairperson, member 1 and member 2, adjudicating officer. So when we are going to file application before the as per the section 12, 14, 18, 19, we have to file application before the adjudicating officer. What is the qualification of adjudicating officer? Either he will be district judge or retired district judge. Chairperson, member 1, member 2. Chairperson must be having a 20 year of experience. Member must be having a 15 year of experience in the field of urban development, housing, real estate development, infrastructure.
Hello, Birla sir.
We're not able to hear him, right?
Yes, sir. In some network issue.
Dear members, just bear with us. We'll just try to sort it out. I think he's logging in, re-logging.
He's rejoining.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry friends, due to network issue, I am disconnected. Can you enable the screen sharing, please? Am I audible?
Yes, yes, very much. Yeah,
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
very sorry.
It's okay, sir.
no problem, no problem.
Some network issues are there. Yeah. Sorry, friends. Uh, we were discussing the power of the RERA authority. So section 35 talks about the power of the RERA authority that has a civil power, civil court power. And what is this power? The power says that RERA authority can ask, they can, do the following act: discovery and production of books of accounts and other documents, summoning and enforcing the attendance of the person and examining them on oath, issuing commission for the examination of witness or documents, any other matter which may be prescribed. I will explain practically how it is happened. In one of our case, one allotee has filed the complaint before the RERA authority against the developer. The developer has not given the possession, and he produced the one document, letter of the bank. So in that letter, some error were there from the bank side. So promoter alleged that this letter is false and fabricated. So what RERA authority has done, they asked the bank manager, and the case of the Gujarat and the customer was Rajasthan. So the customer took a loan from the State Bank of India, Rajasthan. So RERA authority asked, send the summon to the bank manager and asked them to appear before the RERA authority with the original documents. Then bank manager has give affidavit that that letter was issued by him only and there was a typo error. So such type of the RERA authority has a power. So this is the power of the civil court which is granted to the RERA authority also, that they can exercise such power in case of the any matter. So they can ask any documents, they can ask any person to can you allow me to share screen, please? Satish,
Yes, sir. It's done.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Your voice as well.
The voice was breaking.
yeah, some network.
I think some network issue at your place. Sorry again, members. Again, there's a network issue with Mr. Brilla. Is trying to connect again.
You are able to share your screen?
Is it visible?
Yes, visible.
Yeah, no, I think I have changed the network data. So yes, I was discussing about the filing of the complaint. So how to file a complaint and how to draft the complaint. So whenever we see, every state has defined their own form, that like form A, B, like that. And according to that, the customer or the promoter has to file a complaint or application before the RERA authority. So now when we are filing a complaint, what is the part of that complaint? Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, yes, very much, very much. Yeah.
So first we have to mention the name of the complainant, then the name of the respondent against whom we are filing the complaint. These are the basic part: name and address of the complainant and name and address of the respondent. Then third things comes the fact of the case. What fact we should write? We should write every fact about the particular case. Like, I have taken flat into the particular project. This is the project registration number. The particular XYZ firm is developing the project. I have, given the money on so and so date. Agreement to sell is executed, not executed. Whether the allotment data is given or not. What promoter has promised or what allottee has promised. Something like we should write each and everything about the fact of the case, right? Apart from that, important thing is that whenever we are writing the fact of the case, we should always write the legal provision of the RERA also. Apart from that, we should write the relevant case laws also, citation of the case laws and summary of the case laws also when we are writing the fact of the case. Unless and until we write the legal provision, that it would be difficult to explain to the RERA authority when we are going before the RERA authority that how this non-violation of the any provision of the RERA is done. Now relief, what relief we are asking, and again the second part is what interim relief. So I will explain both the things in a very simple way. If I say that whenever we go to the temple, mosque or church, we pray to the God. We pray to the God by गाड़ी दे दो, बंगला दे दो, सब दे दो, मेरे को सारी सुख सुविधाएं दे दो, एरोप्लेन में बिठाओ, घुमाओ, मस्त घूमूं फिरूं. हम भगवान से सारी चीजें मांगते हैं, लेकिन भगवान के हाथ में देना नहीं देना वो भगवान डिसाइड करते हैं. तो जब हम कोई कंप्लेन लिख रहे हैं और हम उसमें रिलीफ मांग रहे हैं, तो जितनी रिलीफ मांगनी हो वो रिलीफ मांग लो. देना नहीं देना रेरा अथॉरिटी के हाथ में है. बट इट शुड नॉट हैपन दैट वी हैव मिस्ड समथिंग. अगर इसको थोड़ा और नीचे के लेवल पे बात करूं, सो एक बेगर होता है, वो बेगर जब किसी के सामने मांगता है तो बहुत मांग लेता है. वी आर ऑल्सो बेगर व्हेन वी गो टू द टेम्पल एंड मॉस्क एंड चर्च. We pray to the God and we beg, like, we are beggar. So you ask whatever you want to ask, right? Whatever the legally correct thing would be there, that RERA authority will grant. So in relief, we should ask whatever relief we are asking, right? And what interim relief. So I give the example. I was explaining the case law of that particular allottee who filed the complaint against the developer for the possession of the unit. And the developer was not interested to give the possession. And during that time, what interim relief we have asked? We asked that we need a possession of that unit. But this case is decided. So such type of interim relief we should ask to the RERA authority in our complaint. Now, important thing is that we should write that complaint is not pending with any other court. So this is the way to draft a complaint. Now, how to draft this application before the adjudicating officer? Again, fact of the case, there is no relief, there is no interim order, only we seek a compensation. So what compensation we are seeking, that we should write here. And against the complaint is not pending with any other court. Is there any time limit to decide the complaint by the RERA authority? Yes, there is no time limit. However,
Birlaji, you are not connected.
sir, you have to. I am extremely sorry. I don't know. This is the only first time it is happened. So far, last 6-7 months, I have delivered many lectures online, but this is the first time. Anyway, so there's a time limit to dispose of the. Already explained, adjudicating officer has a power as per the section proviso to section 71. Any person whose complaint in respect of the matter covered under section 12, 14, 18 and 19 is pending for the consumer dispute redressal forum, or the Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission or the National Consumer Redressal Commission established under Section 9 of the Consumer Protection Act 1986 or before the commencement of this act, he may, with the permission of such forum or commission, as the case may be, withdraw the complaint pending before it and file an application. वहां से विड्रॉ करके एज पर प्रोविजन टू सेक्शन 71 वो कंपनसेशन के लिए रेरा एडजुडिकेटिंग ऑफिसर में एप्लीकेशन फाइल कर सकते हैं। अपील टू अपीलेट ट्रिब्यूनल, अगर कोई रेरा अथॉरिटी का ऑर्डर हुआ है और उससे चाहे प्रमोटर, either real estate agent or allotee, if they are aggrieved, they can file an appeal to the appellate tribunal within 60 days from the date of the order. Tribunal may entertain the appeal even after the 60 days also, subject to the satisfaction of the factual grounds. Appellate tribunal has to dispose of the appeal within 60 days from the receipt. What is the composition of the appellate tribunal? There should be a chairperson.
Again, we are losing out.
So he must be having a 20-year experience in the field of urban development, housing, real estate development, infrastructure, economic planning, law, commerce, accountancy. So this is the qualification of the technical member. Appointment of the chairperson is done by state government in consultation with the Chief Justice of the High Court. Appointment of the member is done by the state government on recommendation of the selection committee consisting of Chief Justice of the High Court or his nominee, Secretary of the Department handling housing and law secretary. So these are the very important judgment in as far as the this tribunal formation is concerned. And after the PIL was filed by Advocate Vipul Singhvi, now because that PIL permanent reform, even though working right now,
We are not able to hear you. Sir, if you can switch off your video and then try.
Am I audible?
No, sir, there's still disturbance, but you can try after you just switch off your video and just show your PPT screen. So we are not able to hear you properly.
I will switch off this video. Audible?
Not clearly, sir.
हाँ, तो ये अभी मैं थोड़ा सा अपील का एक्सप्लेन कर लेता हूँ, फिर मैं एक दो केस बता देता हूँ, then I will finish. Right, so how to file appeal before the RERA authority? First, an important thing I have already explained in the
Yes,
complaint
sir.
procedure, that name of the appellant. Hello,
Sir, please share your PPT screen.
I have already shared. It is not showing to you.
No, sir.
I stop and I will do it.
No, sir, it's not visible yet.
Is it visible now?
No, no, sir. Sir, please.
Sir, I have a network connection over here. I think I don't know what is the issue.
I think Harish, if you can just screen it out, and Mr. Birla can only speak, audio. Can we try that? This last
Yeah, I
30
will
minutes only.
share the PPT.
Sir, if you can rejoin again. Try last.
Please sharing. Am I audible?
Sir, you have still not connected your audio properly.
Am I audible now?
Not clearly, sir.
Hello. I will join through mobile. Let's try. Just a minute. Am I audible now? Satish, am I audible?
There is still disturbance.
Harish, do you have his PPT with you?
No, sir.
Okay. Nee, what I thought is if you could screen out the PPT,
Yeah,
and he can only speak.
But even still is having the audio problem.
Uh-huh.
Am I audible now? Audible now? Hello.
There's a very bad network problem, I think, the place where you are located.
So this is the first time it's happened. I don't know why it is happening. Am I audible now?
Hello, sir.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, you're connected, but your voice is still not clear.
Hello. Am I? Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Is it audible now?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
So it is better I will stop the video and I will not share the screen. I will discuss one important landmark judgment of the Maharashtra RERA Appellate Tribunal. Right? Is it okay?
Okay.
Right. So in what happened in the Maharashtra Appellate Tribunal judgment, that I think everyone must be aware about this Bombay Realty judgment, Bombay Dyeing Manufacturing Company Limited judgment, right? So what happened in that case? This case was some 11 complaints were filed against the Bombay Dyeing and Manufacturing Company Limited due to delay possession of the flat. So there was a two issue in this particular case, whether this obligation of the promoter in case of the veracity of the advertisement or prospectus, whether it is applicable prospectively or retroactively or retrospectively. So this was the one issue. And the second issue was that whether right of the allottee in respect of the refund of the amount, interest and compensation. So these were the two issues before the RERA authority. What I will explain the section 12 here. So section 12 in simple language I will explain. When the promoter do some advertisement and he gives some promises in the advertisement that मैं ये particular amenities दूंगा, मेरे project में ये facility होगी, उसको करने से ये benefit होगा. Such type of promises when makes, and later on if the allottee find that in that project such type of amenities are not there, and that false promises were made by the promoter, then the promoter can seek a compensation if he has suffered allottee can seek a compensation when he has suffered a losses. Even he can withdraw from the project also. So this is the section 12 of the RERA talks about. So what is the section, what happened in this case? That promoter issued a brochure, advertisement and prospectus, and what he has done, he has promised that there would be luxurious facility in the project, world-class infrastructure would be there, 8 acres of lush green landscape garden would be there, and the possession would be given in 2017. In this project, the booking of the apartment was done in 2012 and 13. And for the booking confirmation, allotment letter was issued by the promoter. Later on, 11 complaints were filed, right? Because the apartment was not completed in the 2017. So 11 complaints were filed before the RERA authority because what promoter has done, he has done the changes in the layout of the flats, layout and outdoor amenities, changes, deterioration, reduction in the amenities and facility inside the apartment. Apart from that, what he has done, that when the project was registered before the RERA authority, project end date was mentioned 31st August 2018, and later on the promoter made an application for extension of the project, and the project date was revised to 31st August 2019. What happened? The possession promise was the promoter has promised to give the possession in 2017. So allottee filed the complaint before the RERA authority. However, the RERA authority has not considered their application, and what RERA authority is given the order that obligation of the promoter regarding veracity of the advertisement or brochure does not apply retrospectively. Provision of the RERA do not apply to the present transaction, as this transaction is taken place in the 2012-13, that is much prior to the enactment of the RERA. Maha-RERA authority ने advise किया complainant को better you execute the agreement to sale as per the rule and regulation. Further, they said that if the withdrawal would be done from the project, it would be guided by the terms and condition of the allotment. Further, Maha-RERA authority has observed that the promoter can give the possession of the flat as per the timeline declared, that is August 2019. Cancellation of allotment and withdrawal of the money by the allottee will be adversely affect the project as the project is in advanced stage and 520 allottees are in project. तो महाराष्ट्र रेरा अथॉरिटी ने क्या ऑब्जर्व किया है? उन्होंने बोला भाई अगर आप एक कस्टमर अगर विड्रॉ कर लेगा तो वहां पे 520 कस्टमर है, 520 कस्टमर अगर विड्रॉ के लिए आएंगे तो प्रोजेक्ट बहुत इफेक्ट होगा. और उन्होंने बोला अगर आप कैंसिलेशन करना चाहते हैं तो आपकी जो अलॉटमेंट लेटर और एग्रीमेंट टू सेल की जो कंडीशन है उसके हिसाब से आपका कैंसिलेशन होगा. तो with agreed with this order, all the this complainant filed the appeal before the Maharashtra रेरा अपीलेट ट्रिब्यूनल, और उन्होंने किस बेसिस पे ये अपील फाइल किया था? तो महाराष्ट्र रेरा अथॉरिटी हैज कंसीडर्ड ओनली वन पॉइंट, that is obligation of the promoter to compensate the allotee and refund the amount due to incorrect or false information contained in brochure and advertisement. The failure on the part of the promoter to give the possession as promised was not considered before deciding the case. Honorable Maharera has not considered the view taken in the case of Neel Kamal Return Saban Private Limited versus Union of India. The Honorable Bombay High Court held that Section 18 of the RERA, that is provision related to refund of amount on account of failure of the promoter to give possession on time to allotee, is retroactively applicable. अभी थोड़ा सा इसको शॉर्ट में मैं बता देता हूँ, रेट्रोएक्टिवली, रेट्रोस्पेक्टिवली और प्रोस्पेक्टिवली क्या होता है। रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव होता है कि कोई भी काम जो है जब से शुरू हुआ, जैसे कि एग्जांपल इनकम टैक्स एक्ट, बीच में वोडाफोन का एक केस चल रहा था, आप सभी को पता होगा, तो उसमें इनकम टैक्स एक्ट अमेंडमेंट किया था 1961 से, सो दैट इज एप्लीकेबल रेट्रोस्पेक्टिवली। रेट्रोएक्टिवली क्या होता है, एक्ट आया 2017 में, लेकिन 2017 से पहले जो काम किया उस पर भी एक्ट एप्लीकेबल है, सो दैट इज एप्लीकेबल रेट्रोएक्टिवली, मतलब पुराने काम पर भी एक्ट लागू है, न कि रेट्रोस्पेक्टिवली, मतलब सिंस द बिगिनिंग। एक्ट एप्लीकेबल है 2017 पे, बट वो पुराना जो काम किया हुआ, दैट इज वर्क इज डन बिफोर द एक्ट, is also applicable. Prospectively, but that is applicable from the future. So जो 2012-13 में जो ब्रोशर और एडवर्टाइजमेंट दिया था और उसमें जो प्रॉमिस किया था कभी 2017 में पोजीशन मिलेगा, तो we cannot say that this act is not applicable for that particular act. Section 18 talks about that when the promoter fails to give the possession on time as per the agreement to sale, then promoter has to give a compensation or he has to give the interest for delay possession. However, if allotee wish to withdraw from the project, they can withdraw from the project also, and they can seek a refund along with the interest when they are going to withdraw from the project. So this is the section 18 talks about. So इस केस में महाराष्ट्र रेरा अपीलेट ट्रिब्यूनल ने जजमेंट दिया allottees के फेवर में, और उन्होंने क्या ऑर्डर दिया, that section 12 of the RERA is applicable retroactively. Promoter committed breach of section 12 and section 18 of the RERA, or allotee are entitled for the refund and interest. However, they have denied the compensation. अभी मैं आपको दो जजमेंट और थोड़ा ब्रीफ में एक्सप्लेन कर देता हूँ। सेक्शन 11 जो कि मैंने एडवर्टाइजमेंट की बात किया था, बड़ौदा का एक प्रोजेक्ट है नारायण रियलिटी, उस केस में क्या हुआ, उन्होंने गुजरात समाचार में एडवर्टाइजमेंट दिया अपने प्रोजेक्ट के बारे में। जब प्रोजेक्ट का एडवर्टाइजमेंट दिया था तो उन्होंने प्रोजेक्ट जो एडवर्टाइजमेंट आया न्यूज़पेपर में, they did not mention the रेरा रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर एंड वेबसाइट ऑफ द अथॉरिटी। तो रेरा अथॉरिटी ने सुओ मोटो एक्शन लिया और उनपे पेनल्टी लगाई एक प्रोजेक्ट के ऊपर 1,25,000 रुपीज की। तो दो प्रोजेक्ट मिला के 2,50,000 की पेनल्टी लगाई। प्रमोटर ने उस ऑर्डर को चैलेंज किया बिफोर द अपीलेट ट्रिब्यूनल। गुजरात रेरा अपीलेट ट्रिब्यूनल ने उस ऑर्डर में पेनल्टी रिड्यूस करके 75,000 रुपीज कर दी। फिर क्या हुआ, उस ऑर्डर को भी प्रमोटर ने चैलेंज किया हाई कोर्ट में। हाई कोर्ट का फर्स्ट ऑर्डर आया, उसमें ऐसा लिखा है, क्योंकि सेक्शन 11(2) टॉक्स अबाउट एडवर्टाइजमेंट और ब्रोशर पब्लिश्ड, राइट, पब्लिश्ड, और सो दैट वर्ड इज रिटन हियर, advertisement or brochure published. I will read this section 11. Advertisement or prospectus issued or published. So word is advertisement or prospectus issued or published. तो प्रमोटर ने क्या स्टैंड लिया था, उन्होंने बोला कि मेरे जो ब्रोशर है उसमें मैंने सारी चीजें मेंशन की हुई है और रेरा एक्ट में ऐसा लिखा हुआ है कि और वर्ड यूज किया हुआ है। तो और वर्ड यूज करने की जगह मैंने अगर एक जगह कंप्लाई कर दिया है तो मेरे को दूसरी जगह कंप्लाई करने की जरूरत नहीं है। तो फर्स्ट सिंगल बेंच ऑफ द गुजरात हाई कोर्ट हैज गिवन द ऑर्डर एंड दे हैव डिसाइडेड इन द फेवर ऑफ द प्रमोटर। Later on, that order was recalled by the Gujarat High Court, and again the decision was taken that there is a non-compliance of section 11(2), and जो अपील फाइल की थी गुजरात हाई कोर्ट में वो डिसमिस कर दी, because there was no question of law in that particular case. So I mean to say that when the promoter is doing or they are publishing or issuing any advertisement or prospectus, they should both write address of the website also and advertisement in both the cases. एक अनदर इंपॉर्टेंट जजमेंट है गुजरात अपीलेट ट्रिब्यूनल का, प्रथम स्क्वायर वर्सेस गुजरात रियल एस्टेट रेगुलेटरी अथॉरिटी। इस केस में क्या हुआ था, 1 अगस्त 2017 को प्रमोटर ने, हिम्मतनगर में प्रमोटर है, उनका प्रोजेक्ट था कॉमर्शियल, उसमें उन्होंने रजिस्ट्रेशन एप्लीकेशन किया और उसके बाद में उन्होंने जो भी डॉक्यूमेंट्स वगैरह थे वो सारे डॉक्यूमेंट्स दे हैव गिवन टू द टाउन प्लानिंग ऑफिस ऑफ हिम्मतनगर ऑन 4th September 2017. So as per the section 5 of the RERA, that within 30 days the authority has to give a registration. अगर कोई क्वेरी नहीं आता है तो विदिन 30 days it would be, रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं किया तो it would be deemed registration. रेरा अथॉरिटी ने क्या किया, 29 मई 2018 उन्होंने एक नोटिस निकाला, कभी प्रमोटर ने कुछ कंप्लायंसेस नहीं किया है, दे हैव टू गिव द डॉक्यूमेंट, और उसके लिए एक हियरिंग भी हुई। हियरिंग में प्रमोटर की साइड से जो भी पेंडिंग डॉक्यूमेंट्स थे वो उन्होंने सबमिट कर दिए, लेकिन क्या हुआ, ऑन 5th December 2018 गुजरात रेरा अथॉरिटी ने रजिस्ट्रेशन जो था वो एप्लीकेशन रिजेक्ट कर दी। किस ग्राउंड पे करी, फिर प्रमोटर ने रजिस्टर्ड डेवलपमेंट एग्रीमेंट सबमिट नहीं किया, रजिस्टर्ड डेवलपमेंट एग्रीमेंट। तो वो जो प्रोजेक्ट था उसमें लैंड ओनर कोई और था और प्रमोटर कोई और था, तो डेवलपमेंट एग्रीमेंट हुआ था, डेवलपमेंट एग्रीमेंट रजिस्टर्ड नहीं था, इसलिए रेरा अथॉरिटी ने प्रोजेक्ट की रजिस्ट्रेशन एप्लीकेशन रिजेक्ट कर दी। ये ऑर्डर चैलेंज किया गया गुजरात रेरा अपीलेट ट्रिब्यूनल में, वहां पे ऐसा डिसीजन हुआ क्योंकि फर्स्ट चीज तो ये फर्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज दैट रेरा अथॉरिटी failed to grant the registration within 30 days, so it is a deemed registration case. Second, रेरा अथॉरिटी cannot ask for the registered development agreement. रेरा अथॉरिटी ने जो डॉक्यूमेंट मांगे वो सारे डॉक्यूमेंट प्रमोटर ने दे दिए थे। However, later on, after 6 months or 9 months, रेरा अथॉरिटी has refused the registration or cancelled the application on the ground that registered development agreement नहीं दिया है, इसलिए रजिस्ट्रेशन कैंसिल किया है। तो वो जो अपील फाइल की थी वो अपील प्रमोटर के फेवर में गई। नो डाउट दैट केस इज पेंडिंग बिफोर द हाई कोर्ट, बट द थिंग इज दैट व्हेन द रेरा अथॉरिटी फेल्ड टू गिव द रजिस्ट्रेशन विद इन 30 days, इट वुड बी डीम्ड रजिस्ट्रेशन केस। So this is the from my side. I think little bit network issue is there, so I apologize all to participants and member of the CREDAI for inconvenience caused from my side. Hello.
Thank you so much, sir. Not an issue. We'll take few Q&A if we have received from few questions. Is that fine, sir?
Yeah. Fine.
So the first is owner given flat in lieu of development rights in the new building allottee. The owner given flat in lieu of development rights in the new building, is he allottee?
सर पहले तो ये देखिए कि जो डेवलपमेंट का प्रोजेक्ट है उसमें कोई एडिशनल सेल हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा है। अगर कोई कंप्लीटली रीडेवलपमेंट प्रोजेक्ट है जिसमें कोई एडिशनल सेल नहीं हो रहा है तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल दैट प्रोजेक्ट विल बी आउट ऑफ द परव्यू ऑफ द रेरा, सो फिर अलॉटी का और उस पर क्वेश्चन नहीं आएगा, राइट। एंड अकॉर्डिंग टू माय व्यू ही विल नॉट बी एन अलॉटी।
Okay. Second is in joint development agreement the owner will be liable only if he shares revenue or area or even if he is not sharing.
See, according to my personal view, and I have seen very many of the state authority orders and the thing that where it is decided that the landowner will be equally liable. However, here liability would be related to only transfer of the conveyance in the property only. But according to my view, if I read the definition of the promoter, this landowner is equally liable to the promoter because he is considered as a co-promoter. This is my view.
Okay. If balcony is counted in FSI, then will it be part of RERA carpet area?
No. Balcony and veranda is excluded from the definition of the carpet area.
If customer does not want to register and ready to make payment more than 10%, is that okay under RERA?
See, he cannot deny it, but first he has to execute the agreement to sale. If he has paid a 10% amount, then first he should ask the promoter to execute the agreement to sale. If the promoter is not executing the agreement to sell, obviously he should not make a payment. Second thing, once the agreement to sale is executed, then he cannot deny for the payment.
Okay. Next is, sir, do we need to close a project in RERA after obtaining OC? If yes, what is the procedure? Maybe Form 4 needs to be uploaded.
Yeah, correct.
Form 4 needs to be uploaded on RERA portal to
Yes.
mark your project as a complete project.
Yeah, I think there should be project end quarter compliances. When the promoter is filing the quarter compliance, he has to give. If I talk about the Gujarat, there is a system that you have to file a quarter end return. So you have to file that return where you have to submit that आपने प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीट कर दिया है, आपको बिल्डिंग यूज परमिशन या कंप्लीशन सर्टिफिकेट आ गया, आपने सोसाइटी बना दी है, सोसाइटी हैंड ओवर कर दी है. Such type of compliance every promoter has to do, where it will show that you have completed the project and you have handed over the project to the society by complying with section 17 of the RERA.
This is Form 5, no, right, sir? Form 5.
Form 5 is a different thing. Form 5 you have to file as an annual statement of account.
Yeah. Okay.
Form 4 is for if your project.
Generally सभी लोग उसको RERA audit बोलते हैं. According to me, that is not the audit. That is the certification given by the chartered accountant.
But Maharera here says even one says that OC is applied, then it is enough. They don't need anything else. OC is applied, you just have to upload in the Maharera portal that OC is applied.
वो अलग-अलग स्टेट का अलग-अलग रूल्स बना हुआ है, तो डिफरेंट स्टेट में डिफरेंट कंप्लायंस है. थोड़ा गुजरात में इस मामले में थोड़ा सा लिटिल बिट स्ट्रिक्ट है, बिकॉज गुजरात में हमको फॉर्म 4 भी देना पड़ता है और हमको सोसाइटी से रिलेटेड डॉक्यूमेंट भी, कभी रजिस्ट्रेशन हो गया सोसाइटी का, वो डॉक्यूमेंट भी देना पड़ता है. एक एफिडेविट भी देनी पड़ती है कि हमने सोसाइटी को पैसा ट्रांसफर कर दिया है, सोसाइटी हैंडओवर कर दी है, कितनी हमने यूनिट है, कितने सेल कर दिए हैं, कितने सेल डीड कर दिए हैं, ये सारी एक एफिडेविट में लिख के देना पड़ता है. और व्यू परमिशन भी उसके साथ हमको अटैच करके रिटर्न में अपलोड करना पड़ता है.
Okay.
So it is depend on the state rules to rule. Otherwise तो जो normal compliance है वही है कि आपका completion certificate या व्यू परमिशन आ गया है, तो you have to give that.
Next is, can LRT cancel his booking and claim refund with interest if developer is not at fault?
No. When developer is not at fault, then why he will cancel? He can cancel with the mutual understanding with the promoter, but then he cannot seek an interest. He can seek a refund. वो तो promoter और LOT की mutual consent से हो सकता है. वो that is not an issue.
Next is whether developer can collect money beyond 10% after execution of agreement of sale of flat by paying required stamp duty, but before registration of agreement.
No. Without registration, he cannot accept more than 10%.
Okay. Yeah, for a few more, if a project also, if a project is also registered and the structure is G+1, 220 floors, if possible to do it again phase wise.
Project can be done phase wise, sir. Section 3 talks about that, and every phase.
Okay, now the floor is open. If anybody attendees want to ask question, please raise your hand. I'll give the rights to speak. Mr. Sunilji, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Probably there are few questions if time permits. The first is that what's the importance of flat area for registration? The criteria which is told is that 500 square meter or number of units that is more than 8. But is there any criteria like the flat size should be so much?
There is no criteria as far as flat is concerned. The criteria of the land is there.
Okay.
That if the land area of the project is less than equal 500 square meter,
Yeah.
and sorry, or if the unit in the project is less than equal 8, that project is not required to register under the RERA.
Correct. But no cognizance of any size of the flat or the unit.
No. Only this is the land area. Size तो फ्लैट का कोई भी हो सकता है. आप एक पूरी, अगर आप एक प्रोजेक्ट में एक ही फ्लैट बना रहे हैं, तो you can consider it as a bungalow. तो वो अगर एक ही यूनिट है, अगर प्लान में एक ही यूनिट दिखाया हुआ है, तो that would be considered as a one unit. अगर प्लान में मल्टीपल यूनिट दिखाया है, तो that would be considered accordingly.
Fine. Then next is sir कि withdrawal of fund from account. Do the CS certificate is required for withdrawal of the amount?
Yes.
Okay.
सेक्शन
without-
4.2 LD टॉक्स अबाउट दैट का आपको इंजीनियर आर्किटेक्ट और सीए का सर्टिफिकेट लेना पड़ेगा।
हाँ।
लेकिन काफी सारी जगह ऐसा है स्टेट्स में कि
हाँ।
बैंक सर्टिफिकेट पूछता है कि सीए का सर्टिफिकेट कहाँ है,
हाँ।
बट बैंक कैन नॉट आस्क एंड बैंक कैन नॉट टेक द कॉपी ऑफ सीए सर्टिफिकेट।
No, but like if he's asking and not taking, then what's the difference like? Either they will not ask it, or if they're asking, then they will require the certificate.
सर उनको वो पूछ भी नहीं सकते हैं वैसे तो देखा जाए तो, कि अगर वो इंटरनली चीज है, आपको
Yeah.
सर्टिफिकेट अगर नॉन कंप्लायंस है और वो अगर
हाँ।
फ्यूचर में नोटिस होता है तो रेरा अथॉरिटी आपको जो सीए सर्टिफिकेट है दैट इज द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ द रेरा बिटवीन द रेरा एंड द प्रमोटर।
मतलब
bank
basically bank cannot ask like.
यस, बैंक कैन नॉट आस्क। काफी सारे स्टेट में तो ऐसा है सर कि बैंक पूछता भी है और सर्टिफिकेट भी रखता है, दैट इज कंप्लीटली रॉन्ग।
ओके। नेक्स्ट इज सर जब हम 5 इयर्स की डिफेक्ट लायबिलिटी की बात करते हैं तो जब रेरा रजिस्ट्रेशन का सर क्लॉज है उसमें इट्स लाइक बिकॉज आप टाइम पे पोजीशन दीजिए, आप फंड को डाइवर्ट मत कीजिए और आपका डिफेक्ट लायबिलिटी भी आप मेंटेन कीजिए। अगर मैंने मेरा रेरा रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं करवाया है और मैं मेरे प्रोजेक्ट को कंप्लीशन कर लेता हूं और मेरा कंप्लीशन के बाद में मैं प्रोजेक्ट बेचता हूं तो इस केस में भी मुझे रेरा का रजिस्ट्रेशन जरूरी है क्या फॉर डिफेक्ट लायबिलिटी?
सर हाँ, रजिस्ट्रेशन सर आप जिस दिन बेचने जा रहे हो ना उससे पहले आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन कराना है,
इररेस्पेक्टिव कि मेरा अगर कंप्लीशन आ गया तो भी।
आ गया तो भी। 1/5/2017 के बाद
हाँ जी।
आप कोई प्रोजेक्ट बना रहे हो, भले उसका कंप्लीशन आ गया, ठीक
हाँ
है,
जी।
और
हाँ जी।
आप कंप्लीशन के बाद सेल करने जा रहे हो तो आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन कराना है। 1/5/2017 से पहले कंप्लीशन आ गया तो नहीं कराना है।
हाँ, and that registration then will be applicable for the defect liability.
हाँ सर, डिफेक्ट लाइबिलिटी पीरियड तो क्या है सर, आपका एक प्रोजेक्ट है, सपोज आपने बनाया है,
हाँ जी।
एग्जांपल आपने दिसंबर 2020 में आपने प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीट कर दिया है और
हाँ
आपने
जी।
एक भी यूनिट बेचा नहीं है, ठीक है,
हाँ जी।
अभी आप 2021 से आप सेल करना चालू करेंगे,
हाँ
आप
जी।
सेल नहीं कर सकते जब तक उसका रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं कराओगे, ठीक है,
ओके।
पहली चीज। अब आपने
ओके।
रजिस्ट्रेशन करा दिया और सपोज मैंने आपके यहाँ आके फ्लैट बुक किया,
हाँ जी।
सपोज मार्च में मैंने आपके यहाँ फ्लैट बुक किया, तो
हाँ जी।
मार्च से मेरा 5 साल का पोजीशन चालू हो
बरोबर
जाएगा,
है,
ठीक है?
करेक्ट।
अब सपोज आपके पास कोई 10 यूनिट बच गई और
हाँ जी।
2023 में आपने 10 यूनिट बेची, तो वो
बरोबर
10
है।
यूनिट के लिए 2023 से डिफेक्ट पीरियड चालू होगा।
हाँ, वो मैंने सुना, आपने अभी जो एक कमेंट किया था उसके ऊपर,
हाँ।
एंड उसी पे भी मेरा एक क्वेरी था सर कि नॉर्मली इफ वी टेक अ प्रोडक्ट, जैसे कोई भी मार्केट में एक प्रोडक्ट है तो हम अगर रियल एस्टेट को भी एक प्रोडक्ट पकड़ते हैं, फ्लैट को, शॉप्स को, और नॉर्मली हम कोई भी दूसरा प्रोडक्ट मार्केट में पकड़ते हैं जिसपे बेस्ट बिफोर का डेट लिखा रहता है या एक्सपायरी डेट लिखा रहता है, तो वो डेट ऑफ मैन्युफैक्चरिंग गिनते हैं, आपने कब परचेस किया है वो नहीं देखते हैं।
सर आपके रियल एस्टेट प्रोजेक्ट में कोई एक्सपायरी डेट होता है क्या सर?
नहीं सर, मैं आता हूँ सर। ड्यूरिंग द पीरियड अगर हम रियल एस्टेट को भी देखते हैं तो जो प्राइस हमको नई बिल्डिंग की मिलती है 20 साल बाद में वो प्राइस नहीं मिलती है। नॉर्मली बोलते हैं 20 साल पुरानी बिल्डिंग होगी, प्राइस कम मिलेगा।
तो ज्यादा भी मिल जाती है बहुत सी।
नहीं, वो मार्केट सर इन्फ्लेशन अलग बात हो गई या मार्केट बढ़ गया अलग बात हो गई, नॉर्मल ट्रेंड की बात करते हैं। तो अगर एज अ प्रोडक्ट गिनते हैं तो सर एज अ बिल्डर मेरा बोलना है कि इट इज अनफेयर फॉर द बिल्डर कि आप पुरानी बिल्डिंग अगर मान लो मेरी 5 साल 6 साल 8 साल हो गई और उसके बाद में आप 5 साल की डिफेक्ट लायबिलिटी और बोलते हो, तो इट इज लाइक इनजस्टिस फॉर द बिल्डर एज अ प्रोडक्ट।
वो बिल्डिंग के लिए नहीं है, वो पर्टिकुलर यूनिट के लिए। देखिए सर, आज
अच्छा।
सपोज आपके प्रोजेक्ट में अगर 10 यूनिट बच गया है,
हाँ
वो
जी।
10 यूनिट किसी ने लिया नहीं है,
बरोबर है।
तो
हाँ।
आपका एज पड़ा है। अब
हाँ।
उसके अंदर सपोज किसी प्रकार का कोई डिफेक्ट नोटिस होता है,
बरोबर
तो
है।
एक बात बताइए, जब तक वो यूज ही नहीं हुआ उसका डिफेक्ट कैसे नोटिस होगा? अगर एग्जांपल आपके प्रोजेक्ट में अगर 50 यूनिट है,
हाँ जी।
40 यूनिट बिक गया, आपने सोसाइटी हैंडओवर कर दी है, और
बरोबर है।
अगर कॉमन अम्यूनिटीज में अगर कोई डिफेक्ट आता है तो ऑब्वियसली सोसाइटी वाले उसकी आके कंप्लेन करेंगे। अब पर्टिकुलर यूनिट में अगर कोई आया ही नहीं है, कोई डिफेक्ट नोटिस ही नहीं किया गया है, तो जो बंदा 5 साल बाद आके रह रहा है, जो ले रहा है, तो वो कहाँ जाएगा? अगर उसको 2 महीने के अंदर कोई डिफेक्ट, तो ये जो रेरा का प्रोविजन है वो अल्टीमेटली देखिए सर, इट इज नॉट ओनली टू प्रोटेक्ट द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ द कंज्यूमर आल्सो, इट इज सम गिविंग द एडवांटेज, बट इट इज अ कंज्यूमर सेंट्रिक लॉ। तो सर जो डेट ऑफ पोजीशन मेंशन करने का यही रीजन है, नहीं तो रेरा का जो प्रोविजन है उसमें क्लियर लिख दिया होता कि प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीशन डेट से 5 साल गिना जाएगा।
चलिए सर, मतलब देयर मे बी सम मतलब डिफरेंस ओपिनियन मेरे और रेरा के बीच में,
हो सकता है।
जो सर हम जाते हैं एडवर्टाइजमेंट के ऊपर.
Sir,
एडवर्टाइजमेंट अगर मैं
This is the last
कोई
question,
पब्लिश
because there are other people also waiting.
नहीं, फाइन, नो इश्यूज, एज पर द परमिशन गिवन बाय यू, नो इश्यूज.
Sir, if you have any query,
हाँ जी.
you can note down my number
Sure.
or my mail ID.
Sure.
My contact number is 97123. If CREDAI permits, can I share my number, please?
Sure, sir.
Yeah, so my number is I will put right in a chat box. You can contact me also.
थैंक यू सर.
You can send any query to my mail ID also. Right, I have shared my contact detail. I think it is shared to all panelists only. I'll again share.
Adil ji, you have any question? Please ask.
Yeah, any other question is there?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the informative session, Madhav ji.
Yeah.
My question was related to the RERA carpet area, as I had mentioned in the Q&A. पहले क्या होता था सर कि balcony, dry balconies, ये सारी चीजें जो है वो FSI में काउंट नहीं होती थी, free of FSI रहती थी. But after the fungible policy came in, now even the balconies are counted in FSI. So abhi, if the balcony is counted in FSI and as per RERA we cannot count it in the carpet area, then how do we sell those premises then?
Sir, are you real estate developer, sir?
Yes.
So, sir, abhi my question simple hai, sir. But I have been to in a real estate industry since last 10 years, sir. Because मैंने भी real estate developer के साथ एकदम close, very closely I have worked for 6 years.
That's great.
So, सर इसमें एक्चुअली चीज ये है कि सर पहले सेलेबल एरिया का कंसेप्ट होता था. And if I am not wrong, so suppose if we are selling actually we are giving a 1000 square feet in a particular flat. I am taking just example, right? So there was a concept of the carpet area, super built up area and built up area, correct?
Right.
So पहले carpet area और super built up area का concept हुआ करता था. और suppose actual carpet area उसका अगर 1000 square feet है, but anyway every real estate developer used to sell तो भाई 1200 square feet है या 1300. So that was the markup. And that markup was because of that common area का जो proportion है उसका real estate developer कैसे अपनी cost को recover करेंगे, इसलिए हमेशा real estate developer वो markup add करके कोई भी flat या unit बेचा करते थे. Correct me sir if I am wrong. Right. तो सर अभी वो कंसेप्ट आ गया, तो 1000 कारपेट एरिया, 1000 स्क्वायर फीट का जो कंस्ट्रक्शन एरिया था उसकी जगह हम 1200 1300 व्हाटएवर मार्कअप जो भी रियल एस्टेट डेवलपर करते थे वो बेच के रेट डिसाइड करते थे. राइट. नाउ अब क्वेश्चन आ गया, क्योंकि सुपर बिल्टअप एरिया का कंसेप्ट चला गया है, तो सर एरिया हम बेच रहे हैं तो रेट बढ़ जाएगा. सी अल्टीमेटली द थिंग इज दैट you will increase the rate, you are not increasing the area. You are giving the lesser area as far, you are not giving the lesser area, but आप जो वर्डिंग जो लिखते हैं, चाहे बिकॉज ऑफ FSI, चाहे बिकॉज ऑफ द रेरा रूल्स, आप लिख रहे हैं कि मैं आपको अभी 1000 स्क्वायर फीट ही दे रहा हूँ. पहले आप लिखते थे 1200 स्क्वायर फीट दे रहे हैं, राइट? तो अभी 1000 स्क्वायर फीट दे रहे हैं तो आप 1000 की रेट उतनी कर दीजिए. पहले 1200 दे रहे थे तो रेट कम हो जाती थी. ऐसा मैं मानता हूँ कि रियल एस्टेट इंडस्ट्री में होता है.
पर सर ऐसा था कि पहले जब डेवलपर्स जो चार्ज कर रहे थे वो ऐसी चीजों के लिए चार्ज कर रहे थे which were not part of the flat, और वो FSI में काउंटेड भी नहीं थी. लेकिन ये balcony is a private balcony to the unit itself and now it is counted in FSI. So that's not fair on the part of the
no sir, I will differ a little bit. Even I am not a real estate developer, but जो जिस तरीके से मैं बिजनेस को समझता हूँ, इस बिजनेस का ऐसा ही हुआ है कि सर देखिए, आप एरिया ज्यादा बेच के रेट कम ले और एरिया कम दिखा के जो कि एक्चुअल है वो दिखा के आप रेट इंक्रीज कर रहे हैं. अल्टीमेटली nobody is doing the business to incur a loss.
Right.
Even I am also there, anybody is there in this world. Nobody does the business to earn the losses. They do to earn the profit. So ultimately वो अगर आपने एरिया कम दिखाया है तो obviously रेट बढ़ गया है, आपने एरिया ज्यादा दिखाया है तो रेट कम हो गया. So this is I understand business. राइट सर. तो ऐसा मुझे नहीं लगता कहीं कोई अनफेयर हुआ है. आपको रेट बढ़ जाएगा सर वो तो.
राइट सर. थैंक यू सर.
Yes, any other question sir, because I think it is 7:40 and I am extremely once again sorry due to this network issue. Yeah, Gupta ji.
Sir, I have a question if you can take it.
Yeah, not an issue. If
Yeah.
Sir, my question is,
Yeah, please.
agreement of sale registration for taking further payment from the client. One hindrance we have seen in affordable housing where people are
Sir,
10%.
voice
They're also executing agreement of sale.
voice is not clear, sir.
Can you hear me now? Is that
Yeah,
better now?
yeah.
Okay, so we are able to take the 10%. We are able to do that agreement of sale also, but registration has become absolute difficulty. Buyers are not willing to do registrations. So post couple of reminders to the buyers, we are then proceeding to the next stage payment because we have to complete the project also in a timely manner. Do you think this is a real violation of HERA? Because registration is actually the onus of the buyer also, but the buyer is not coming forward and doing the registration.
So
He's executing the agreement of sale.
have you officially communicated to the buyer that you execute the agreement to sell?
Yes,
Hello?
yes. And we
So
have given 2 reminders also post that, one after one.
So, sir, then you can file a complaint before the RERA authority.
But why should I file a complaint? That's what my question is today. If I have 100 set of buyers, out of which 50 have executed the agreement of sale, they have done registration, 50 have not done, but still they are taking the payment.
So, sir, unless and until you will
Make the project into jeopardy unnecessary.
Sir, unless and until you will execute the agreement to sell, how you will be able to recover the amount from the customer, because the payment schedule will be as per the construction link.
So you're not getting, sir, I think you misunderstood my question. Execution of agreement of sale has been done, but the registration is not happening.
Sir, can you call me over the phone?
The agreement of sale execution has been done.
Sir, आपका आवाज बहुत break हो रहा है. Can you
Sure,
call me?
I will do that. I will do that.
Send his number. Please speak to him one-on-one, and he'll be happy to.
Sure. Sure. I'll do that. Thank you so much.
The last question from Sanket ji, and we'll then close. Sanket Joshi, please speak your question.
So the numbers are not.
Sanket Joshi, please unmute yourself. I think he's not gonna speak.
Anyway, sir, you can share my contact detail with every participant.
Only share to everybody.
Yeah.
Sir, thank you so much for your time, and there was some problem here and there, but it's a part.
Yeah, I extremely sorry and I apologize for that.
No, not an issue, sir. But your session.
Not an issue. Not an issue. Not an issue. Absolutely. I mean, we're privileged to have you. It's not only for this session, but we will have a long-term cooperation. That's more important, and we will be in touch with the participants. That's more important. Yeah.
To all the attendees, so they will be happy to.
Thanks a lot, and thanks again to the Credai team and Virag Bhai for inviting me to share this view. I am very thankful to all of you, and thank you participants for patience hearing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Virag ji, for your being a knowledge partner. You are so supportive from Easy Connect. Thank you, Birla ji. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.